All right, guys, so this is going to be the presentation for what to submit for the semester exam. If you guys have any questions during this particular class period, wait till the very end. Write down your questions as I'm explaining this, because I'm going to be sharing this video with all of my Art 1s. I do need to make sure that we keep it very streamlined. And then if there's questions at the very end, that's fine. I'll go ahead and I'll pin that particular part of the video when I upload onto YouTube. So that way, when I share it with you guys, if you guys need to go back and listen to those answers, you know, if they're commonly like going to be asked between the other classes, they'll still at least have the opportunity to hear maybe some of the answers that you guys might have questions to, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and at this point, I'm going to start switching my camera so you can see what I am doing on screen and what you're going to be having to do for the final. So let me switch over to the document camera. You should have already gotten a, at least organized somewhat by already getting all of your stuff together. Remember, I had originally told you guys to set it up in an actual portfolio, like some type of folder that you guys can save all of your stuff. I do recommend, if you haven't done this for this first semester, do it for the second semester. Go ahead and title it Art 1. You can put your name, your period number that you have me for, and anything that you do, whether it's sketches or the final product or practices, save it in there. Because if you guys have something like I had said previously, if let's say you have a sketch that's like this, and you guys end up submitting that, you have to submit this to me, and you have it on the table and your mom sees this, they're going to want to crumple it up and throw it away. So you want to make sure that if you keep it in a folder like this and it has your class period, well, then more than likely it's not going to get thrown away. Okay. So at this point, I'm just going to explain what's going to actually go in your folder. I would take out a sheet of paper and write out the list. I will provide this list for you guys on Google Classroom later, but it's not going to be till this weekend. So if you want to start organizing yourself right now, go ahead and write the list with me. You can also screenshot if you want at the very end once I'm done with writing the list if you want. I mean, that's an option as well, okay? So if we're taking a look at the final list of what it's going to be, the first thing you're going to want to put on your list of what you're going to have to include for me. So we're going to go ahead, let me get a better pencil here. And this is going to be for Art 1. So these are the things that you have to include when you upload for me. So number 1 is going to be the organic shape, which is this one that you see here. So organic shape assignment. And on this, I only have this because when I explained this originally to you guys at the very beginning, and I was showing you how to do the organic shape, I just told you don't think about it and go ahead and do this. Some of you guys might have practiced a little bit of the transition right before. So if you guys have any practices like that you have saved, go ahead and include that as a separate picture as well. So practices, I'll go ahead and I'll put that in there just in case. I'm going to focus my camera in case you guys see it a little bit blurry. But practices would be the other thing that you could incorporate with this and still get the full credit. Anything that you have, the more that you guys submit to me, the better, okay? Now, the second thing that we're going to also apply that you're going to have to upload is the color blending. So the color blending, I'm going to write that there. So you guys should be writing the list with me. And then on the color blending, you do want to include your sketches. You also want to include any references. Now, I'm going to put question marks on the stuff that you might have because not everybody has references. Some of you guys for the color blending came up with your own design. So if you came up with your own design, you didn't look up anything under Google, well, then you're not going to have anything to submit for that. But some of you guys might have looked up some patterns or things like that, and you want to incorporate that as well, okay? The third thing that you guys are going to upload for me, for sure, at least with the projects, are going to be pointillism. So the pointillism assignment we just did. And this is the animal. So I'll go ahead and write that in the actual parentheses, just in case you guys didn't know which one I was talking about. And under this project, there was a couple of things that you guys might want to add. So the first thing would be your reference, because you had to choose a picture. So the reference is 1. The second thing you might also have to submit to me is your sketch. Now the sketch, I'm going to put a question mark on. The reason why is because some of you guys did your sketch and I looked at it and I said, that's great. You don't have to redraw it. Go ahead and do it. So if you don't have the original sketch of your drawing, it's okay. So that's why I put a question mark. You might include it, you might not. All right. If you have it, send it to me, because the more you actually put in the actual portfolio grade, the better. Now, the other thing that you're also going to have to include with this one is the practice. Remember that for the pointillism, we did the circle and the square and all that stuff. You're going to have to submit a separate picture of that one to me. So this is a must. That's why it doesn't have the question mark in front of it. So if we are looking at all of these all together, then there should be a total. And I believe also on the color blending. So this is what I'm missing also. You should have this practice also. Incorporate practice with the color blending, just because that is a must. So that's not even a question mark on that one. Because remember, we did the color blending practice on how to do that. So I saw this and I remembered about this. So make sure that you do include those. So if we count them now, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 images that you're going to have to submit that are for sure. So these are the ones that you have to have, okay? And if we're including the question marks, we have 1, 2, 3. So it would be 9, 10, actually, 10 images as a maybe. So you guys might have 10 images at the very end. So anywhere between 7 to 10 total is what you're going to be uploading for me. And this is going to be for the semester exam portfolio. Semester exam portfolio is what you're going to have to submit. Okay. So when you guys submit this to me, and I'm going to show you exactly how you're going to submit it to me. This is what the list is going to look like. And you should have already been writing this alongside with me. But like I said, by this weekend, I will incorporate both the video of this, of what I'm explaining, as well as the list that I will upload for you. So if you want to wait till then, that's fine too. But for those of you guys that are organizing yourselves right now, take the opportunity to write this down, okay? So when you guys take your photographs, and this is why I wanted to go over it with you guys today. Some people will scan their images, and it's gonna make the quality of the actual image itself, it changes it, like it changes the format. It's almost like a copy and print. So you're not gonna see the full transition. So I'm not going to accept scanned images. You do have to take a photograph, whether it's with your phone or a actual digital camera. You're gonna wanna take the best quality photo possible to be able to upload to get the full credit, okay? So when you take the photographs, there's things that I have to kind of cover on who's been taking good photographs and what you can do to improve for second semester. The first major thing that I've seen problems with is the lighting. They're not choosing correct lighting. When they're taking photographs, there's like, you know, like if you're right above it or whatever like that, you're going to cast shadows and things like that on your drawing. So you have to be very careful. When I take photographs of my stuff, I have my lighting system right here, right next to me. So when I turn on the Elmo, you know, and even then it's going to be too bright. You're going to notice that I kind of have to adjust it. So when I take the photograph and the light's turning on, you'll see that like now I'm casting like some weird shadows. So I have to kind of adjust the lighting to where I can still see a good enough transition and I can see a good quality photograph. For you guys at home, what I found best when I'm taking photographs of like my children's work that I have to upload, and let's say I don't have this available to me, I usually take photographs in windows. That's the best lighting. When the lighting comes from the side of the window and you're above your drawing to be able to take the photograph, you will notice that there's not going to be a lot of shadow work and you'll see very fine definition when it comes to the actual work. So for those of you guys that don't take these photos already like this, I get, you know, my biggest recommendation for you guys is to do so starting the second semester. So that way you start getting accustomed to taking your photographs that way, okay? The other thing that I see when people take photographs of their work, so you could see it on camera right now, they'll take pictures just the way you see it right now in my video, and they include all of these side areas to be able to submit to me. And I do not recommend doing that when you guys submit your work. Also, I usually get people who will take pictures of, and I'll give you an example. So this is what I'm talking about. They'll take a picture, and this is the one that I did of the pointillism for my first period. And they'll include all of this side. They'll just upload it like that. Also, if you notice, my phone is to its side. So when they upload it and they upload it to Google Classroom, it looks like this, even though the artwork is meant to be in this direction. So when you guys edit, so let's say you took your photograph, you like the way the lighting looks, everything is set. What you need to do is edit your photograph. So you'll go to the edit button. And the first thing you want to do is you want to crop your image. So you want to remove any of the excess from the outside that you're not going to need for the actual picture. The other thing you need to do is rotate your canvas so that way when you're looking at it on screen like this, it is actually the way it's supposed to be. Now, if you're taking the pictures not on your phone and on a digital camera, when you upload your image to the computer, because you should have the little connection to where you can download it onto your computer to set in a folder, you want to make sure that you edit it with whatever you have available on the computer. This is why it's easier on a phone. So if you don't have your own phone, you can borrow a parent's phone if they have an Android. You can also borrow maybe, I mean, you have the whole weekend. So if you have to go to an aunt's house or somebody that you've been in quarantine with and you trust, they have a phone, take all of your work to their house, take a picture of all your work next to window lighting. So at least you know you're going to get some good lighting effects to where you don't have to play too much with the editing. The editing, what I just did right now, this is as much as you should do on your phone as far as editing. Just cropping your image so that way you can fit the full entire image, and then rotating your canvas just to make sure that when you save it, it's going to save it exactly like that, okay? If you're playing with filters, that is no longer your actual image. This is why you want to take a good photograph of your work as is already right off the bat without having to do any of those types of edits, okay? So that's how you should be editing. You know, anybody who's uploading, make sure that you do this at least for the second semester when you start uploading on Google Classroom. And if you already have those set and they're ready to go, well, then you don't have to be doing this at the very end because you already have those images and you can just save them onto your computer, okay? So that's how you edit. Now, if I want to send these, so let's say you're doing this on the phone. Some people have their Google Classroom already set. However, you need to make sure that you also rename your images. So if it's usually easier on the computer, as far as for here, I believe you should be able to go to the details and then you go to edit under details, and it's the name of the actual photograph is what you want to change. So since I know this is my pointillism assignment, I want to rename it to pointillism. And then I would also, just to be on the safe side, because as it uploads, it's gonna upload usually in order. Since I know this is my assignment number 3 that I'm uploading, I can even put the number next to it. So I can put 3 and I can put pointillism. So as it saves it and as it uploads, it should upload in correct order, okay? So that's another thing you'll have to edit. And then you just hit save and it'll save it for you, okay? So those are the things you have to edit, is the rotation, cropping, and then you also have to do the name. Now, if you don't want to do this, you have the option of emailing it to yourself. So I can email all of my images. During first period, I did save all of the images, like I took photographs of everything already. So in order for you guys to be able to email them to yourself, so if you want to do it that way, you can just select all of your images. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I have 5. And then of course my other ones are on the other ones, which are the references. Oh no, I forgot this one, 6. And then my other one is the actual reference that I have for this. And I can share it, go to my Gmail, because that's what I usually use. And on my Gmail account, guys, when I'm doing this, what I'll do is I'll send 2, and then I'll send it to myself. So the Cloud Palm, no, I want to use my Gmail. So I don't want that other Hotmail one. I'd rather use my Gmail account. When you do the subjects, always title it, just in case you ever have to look for it again. Go ahead and title it portfolio, because you know it's for your portfolio. So portfolio. And then if I want to title this one, because I know I'm going to have to resend more images, you can put portfolio 1, portfolio 2, that sort of thing. Okay. And then I'll just send them to myself, to my Gmail account, and it's already backed up. It should have sent already. I should already have that. Now I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my screen. So for those of you guys that are going to email this and not upload it on the day of, I recommend doing it like this so you can organize yourself. So I'm going to start screen sharing. Let me go ahead and share screen. I want to share my computer. So, okay, so now that I've got this, and I'm gonna kind of move, I don't need these, so I'm gonna close this because you guys, this is what I'll eventually open up. I don't need this open. So this is what I want you guys to see. So I originally had already sent this stuff to myself. Now I have also my, this is my stuff for school. And then I also have my Gmail open, but I'm gonna go ahead and since I sent it to both accounts during first period, I'll just open it up here. So this was the reference that I originally used for my first one. So what I wanna end up doing is I'll come over here. Let me go ahead and move this over. So I'm going to come over here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this and I'm going to hit download. So if you emailed it to yourself, you are going to have to download the image. And then once you download, you're going to open it, which will look like this, and you're going to make sure that you save it. When you save it, and I had already created a folder. If you don't know how to create a folder, guys, so let me just close this because I want to show you. You right click on your desktop, you go to new, you hit folder and title it. I already have created one. So I titled mine Portfolio for Art 1 Fall 2020. The reason why I put Fall 2020 is because I'm going to need one for the spring. So title your folder. I'm going to delete this folder because I was just showing you how to create it, but you just make sure you title it. If you accidentally name it something else and you want to rename it, you always just go to rename. So right click rename and you can always type and edit whatever you want. Okay. So now that I have it, I had already put all of my downloads in there because when I come over here and I want to download it and I open it, when I click save, I'm going to save it to that particular folder. So I'll do it one more time just in case you guys didn't see how to do that. So I'm going to download, once I have my email open, I'm going to download the image. And you know what, just to even be better, I'm going to show you this one because this one has all the images when I originally sent it to myself. So I can download each and every single one. And once I open it, I come here and then I'm going to go to save as. I already saved it, so I'm not going to click it. And right before you save it, if you're just going to save it, you can always rename it. But if you're right before you save it, change the name. So instead of doing this, I'm going to title it Pointillism the way that I did it on the other one. Pointillism. And this one, just by chance, I'm going to go ahead and put the number 3 on it, just so that way I know that that's my assignment. It's my third assignment in the class. And I'm going to put Pointillism, and then I click save. Now it'll save a second copy, but that's okay because I'll show you guys what to do with the other ones. Okay. So then I would save all of them the same way. Click, save as, retitle it first before you put it in your folder. And I'll do that for every single one. And then when I open up my folder over here, I should have all of them already saved, ready to go. So that way on the day of, when I see you guys on the day of the final, you have everything set. You already have everything already labeled. You know, so I'm going to delete this one because it's the same one and I don't have it under the right name. So let me just delete that one. And I have all the ones that I have here. The only one that I'm missing on this, because I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The only one that I did not upload was my sketch for this one because I did have a sketch. And I'll show that to you guys just in case you guys need to see it. But these are the ones that you should have in your folder. If you guys want to take a picture of that so you can see which ones they are as far as the assignments. Like I said, the only one missing is going to be the one with the sketch for this. And I will show you guys that in just a little bit so you know exactly what 7 images you need to upload for me. However, when you guys do this, make sure you rename. So if you uploaded it like this without renaming them originally, just come here and you're going to right click, you hit rename, and I'm going to put on this one reference for Pointillism. So you always want to title whether it's a reference, whether it's a practice, like these are considered practices. So I would go back and I would rename everything. I'm not gonna do that right now, but you guys get the point as far as how to reference and pretty much like, I can do it to the first one. So one more time, right click, rename, and I'm gonna put 1, and this is organic shape. So that way I know what assignment that is. And you're gonna do that to every single one just to organize yourself. So you can see it's fairly easy. It's not hard, guys. I don't wanna make the semester exam difficult. I just wanna start showing you guys how to organize yourself and making sure that when you take the photograph that it's a good quality. See, when I open this, I can see the detail. I can see that, you know, the detail that I did on the flowers originally with this particular project. I can see the transition from color blending. The problem is that when people were doing the scanning, you don't see any of that stuff. You know, this is not the best quality just because I do see some shadows. So I could have taken this picture a little bit better. So because you guys have the whole weekend, make sure that you guys get yourselves prepped, take good quality photographs of your stuff. So that way, when you upload on the day of, you're only in my class for just a little bit. I mean, if you guys are ready with this over the weekend, when you show up to my class, when it's scheduled for you guys to take your final exam, all you have to do is just upload those and you're done for my class. Can you take the time to do this during the final? Yes, but get yourself ready already so you don't have to worry about it too much on the day of and you're set. Are there any questions at this point? So I'm going to stop sharing my screen. This was just in case you guys need to see it, or if you want to take a quick photograph of that, I'll leave that on screen just a little bit longer, just so in case anybody wants to take a quick photograph of what they're going to have to turn into me. I will incorporate this typed because my handwriting is very bad. So I will incorporate it typed for you guys on your Google Classroom stream. So it will be there, as well as a link with this video in case you're not sure how to organize yourselves with your pictures. But I am going to be very critical, guys, when it comes to the pictures themselves and how you're cropping them and how you're submitting them to me on Google Classroom from now on. Because second semester, I showed you how to do this. So technically, you guys should already know how to do it. If I do see people submitting images to me where they're like this, it's not going to be the full 100. It won't be a credit for you guys. And if that's the case, then you won't qualify for the second semester to be able to get cleared. And you're going to have to do this at the very end anyways. Okay. So the practice, this would be the one that I would consider my practice. Because technically, when I was going to do this one, which was this original one, when I was planning it out with people, remember how I made you guys submit a quick sketch of what you guys wanted to do? This would be the one that I have not included in my folder that I would have to also include. So even these count. Somebody asked me last period, ma'am, what if I threw mine away? I was like, what do you mean? That if they said this one that they had, they threw it away. Well, then, I mean, go back and redo it. You guys have the time. So if you have to do it during the day of the final, like to do the quick practice because you don't have it anymore, for you to get the 100, you do have to include all of it. If you fail to submit something, like out of the 7 pictures, you only include 5, then I'll start taking off points. It's not that you're going to get a 0. You're still submitting something. So I'm not going to give you a 0, but I will have to take off points because it's not fair to those who actually saved all of their work. Because I've been mentioning it the entire semester. Don't throw anything away. Make sure you guys make your folders. So if you did throw something away, it will count against you. So if you don't want for it to count against you and you want that 100, make sure you redo it if you have to. All right, guys? So are there any questions at this point? Maybe something that I might have explained that sounded confusing to you that I can make it a little bit more clear to you guys on what you need to do for the semester exam. Yes, everybody understood? Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna stop the recording at that point so that way I can upload this for everybody.